to another edition of Chaffee Break. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's video is from the user BooMSX. That's BooMSX, and he's driving the M24 Chaffee on a standard battle on Corellia. So, just taking the normal scouting route on the far right hand corner, on the far right hand flank even, not corner, just going to take a position on, at the crest, not the crest, the bottom of this hill, and just try and spot out anybody who tries to make a break for it. He's going to leave himself out, just get a hit on that T21 and on the Hellcat, and then just going to try and move up the hill to try and block those off. Taking this hill can provide a very good spotting bonus, so being the first to, well, not even the first, but being the one who is left alive on the top of this hill is fantastic. It is absolutely where you need to be. Luckily, the M24 of BooMSX, his allies had his back there, had a medium tank coming up with him, and there was also artillery focusing in on this position, unlike the enemy, who weren't backing up the T21. Hellcat's in a bit of a dangerous position here. He really should have just backed off as soon as he saw his ally getting taken out, but no, he's decided to stay on the slope of the hill to try and hopelessly defend it. Unfortunately, a Panther and a Chaffee more than a match for a Hellcat, and just able to take him out. Don't think the Panther needed to ram him, but a kill is a kill, and he is out of the battle now. So just going to move back up to the top of the hill like you should be doing, and take up a good spotting position well behind all of these bushes, and try and lay some damage on some targets and do some good spotting. Gets a good hit on that Tiger, and he's going to make him fall back. Not really sure the Tiger's going to be able to see him, because he is quite a distance away and obscured by all of these bushes. Spots out a KV1 on the other side of the map. Able to get a good hit on his tracks there and get a good critical. Unfortunately, not really able to get any damage, but he is supporting his ally there, the T21 light tank, who was trying to duel with this KV1. Side armor of this KV1 not up to scratch, and picking up his first kill of the game there. So just really staying at the top of this hill now, just to try and keep eyes on everybody that he can, but sees that there's an AMX-12T dropping back and assaulting their base. They've only got a T25-2 there, which won't really be a match for a 12T, especially if that 12T can get around and use his superior speed against the terrible turret traverse speed of the T25-2. Unfortunately, they are just behind this rock here, so there's not really much support that the Chaffee or BooMSX can really do. Just going to try and lay some damage on him, but the 12T realises what's happening and just tries to get the hell out of there as quickly as possible. Luckily, he hasn't been able to take out their artillery, who was hiding on the opposite side of the base, and then he gets taken out by the tank destroyer. So it looks like they've actually been wiped out on this far right hand flank here. It looks like they tried to push up far too quickly, except the enemy had some good entrenched positions there and were able to take them all out as they were pushing up. So just going to try and get some eyes on somebody, hopefully, who is going to be pushing up this flank after this victory, and then hopefully they can get their artillery to lay some fire on them. They are losing this game marginally at the moment at 8 kills to 7, so that's still pretty much even though, so just going to see how this one goes. Sees the T150 there, and all they have is a tank destroyer, and who is that? It's KV1S and that T25-2 from earlier, so he's a bit damaged. But if this IS pokes himself out a little bit too far, then the Chaffee should be able to get a hit on the side armor. Ooh, unfortunately not quite able to take him out there, but doing enough damage that the KV1S can just finish him off no problem whatsoever. So now with that T150 there, he's not really going to want to push up against a KV1S and a T25-2. So it's going to be up to the allies here to push forward and try and take him out. Looks like he's just camping behind the building there. Was that him knocking a tree down, or was that a hidden enemy? I think that was probably him. But you know they're going to have more in this area focusing on this position just because of the amount of casualties that they've sustained over here. I don't think an IS and a T150 would have been able to take out quite everybody in such a spectacular manner. Just going to get back to the top of the hill and see if we can get some damage on this Black Prince. Just going to speed it back up again until we get back into the action.
Enemy armor is damaged.
So finds the rear armor of this Black Prince now, moving across the terrain. Going to see if he can get some serious damage on him. Get some good shots on him. Not quite able to pick up the kill as he just disappears behind the rocks, but getting a lot of damage on him is good enough so that his allies can finish him off no problem, because remember, this is a team game. It doesn't matter about the kill score, it only really matters that you win and you deal a decent amount of damage and do your job properly, which he is doing spectacularly at the moment, doing some good spotting. So Caesar Cromwell across the other side of the map, who is dueling with... who is that? Can't see him because he's too far away, but it's one of their heavy tanks, so just going to try and take him out. Moving at a very slow speed here, so not maybe the Cromwell's a little bit damaged, but just going to try, well, was going to try and get a predictive shot on him, but he just disappears. So we're going to instead lay some damage on this Churchill 1. Problem is, he thinks he's probably close enough to the Churchill 1 that he'll get spotted as he opens fire, so he's just going to reposition himself behind this rock. And with the fire speed of a Churchill 1 would be more than a match for a Chaffee if he can get that gun on target and lay down with the rate of fire that he has. Just going to have to play it very carefully. Doesn't look like he is looking at him though, so maybe he hasn't spotted him or doesn't know where he is. Just going to keep a close eye on where that gun's pointing. But again, it looks like he doesn't actually know where he is, so he's just trying to reposition and get behind the rock. Unfortunately, not able to do that and gets his track taken out. In fact, is that both tracks annihilated? Looks like it is, so it should only be one or two more shots. Although it looks like the Churchill 1 is now returning fire, but it looks like he doesn't have the rate of fire. So just going to reposition slightly and hopefully that'll make him miss, and yes it does. Unfortunately, most of his shots have been critical hits and doing no damage, so just going to try and change where he's firing. But looks like the Churchill 1 manages to get the safety with only 10 hit points left. So it looks like the KV-1S and that T-150 are still facing off against each other. A little bit of a Mexican standoff until this 3601H tries to get a flanking maneuver on, but not really going to pan out, as this Chaffee should be able to come up behind him and just finish him off. Terrain proving a little bit awkward there, not really able to get a shot quite on him until the last moment there, and able to take him out. Picking up his second kill of the match, but he has so far been instrumental in spotting and this defence. So the score's evened up now at 10-10, although that may be somewhat non-representative of the game, as they have a Churchill 1 in the centre with only 10 hit points, and I think most of their tanks are pretty healthy. If we just take a look, actually no, the T-25-2 is almost dead. And as we can see there, the 3601 saying that he's a cheater, invisible reported. So just a quick message out to that user: if you're watching this video, then you can clearly see that he's not cheating, he was just better than you. So spots out a Tiger tank in the centre. Going to have to be careful though, because if this Tiger manages to get a shot on the Chaffee, it would only take 1 or 2 hits. Well, 2 really, and it would be the end of him. But finishing off for that Cromwell that he managed to lay all that damage on earlier. And it looks like the Churchill Mark 1 is still alive somewhere. It looks like the KV-1S tried to push on the T-150, and the T-150 was able to take him out. Although he's reporting that he only has 7% of his hit points left, so it shouldn't be too difficult for them to just finish him off. I'm going to try and take a safe route. Trying to take a safe route down that cliff. Apparently the Chaffee's been reported as a bot cheater, but again, if you're watching this video, you can see that he's not a cheater. He's just better than you. Spots out the Churchill, gonna finish him off. Takes off his last 10 hit points after pounding him earlier on in the match. So now gonna head into the enemy base, because he knows that there was another heavy tank camped back over here. In fact, no, he must have been taken out, because the only heavy tank they have left now is that T-150 on the far right hand flank with only 7% of his hit points. So the Chaffee going to do his job. Yeah, Chaffee going to go and do his job and try and cap and take out the artillery. As you can see, he's reporting there that he's very low on ammunition, which he is. He's only got 4 shots left, and with the rate of fire of the Chaffee, you can't really blow through all of your ammunition in a battle very, very easily. Spots out the T-150 here. Not sure if he's been spotted. He's got 6th sense, so don't think he has been. It should be just a case. There we go. Able to take him out, no problem whatsoever. Just finishing him off there. So it's just the enemy's artillery left. Going to hunt him down and try and take him out. As you can see, he's doing the smart thing of skirting around the base there, and the reason that you do that is just so that it doesn't flash up that you are capping the base, so the artillery knows where you are. The second you put your foot in that cap zone and it starts to tick down, then the artillery knows that you are in that cap zone and knows to make a run for it. Just skirting around that cap zone there just keeps his position totally secret, and then he can move at his leisure and try and hunt down this artillery. Just going to speed it back up again until we get into the action, having a good scan around but not really able to spot him out. Although somehow the artillery looks like he has gotten back to the centre and taken the hill where the Chaffee was earlier. So just going to try and move across there and take him out, as the artillery does take out the Hummel of the Allies who was moving up the centre there. The T-25-2 is starting a base capture, which is the smart thing, just in case this Hummel manages to pull off a miracle and destroys this Chaffee and destroys their IS, then he is at least going to be securing a base capture for them. So he's going to get to the top of the hill, try and find out where he's hiding. He should be around here, unless he's actually moved down the hill now to try and stop this base capture, which is entirely likely. And the thick bushes down this little hill mean that he could be hidden from view. But no, spots him moving directly up the centre, so just going to try and get a shot on him. Gets one good hit, one more should be enough to finish him off, and there we go. Picks up the last kill of the match for his 6th, has 1 round left, and shows us how powerful the Chaffee can be when used correctly as an assault tank and an effective scout. So thank you very much to BooMSX for sending in that awesome clip. Thank you to you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.